33 vertebrae in your spine. There's 33 years in the life of Jesus. Substance that comes from your medulla, which looks like the Ark of the Covenant, has angel's wings around it, the whole thing. Trip down your spine to your sacrum, which is Christ coming down into human form.
Yeah.
And if you don't squander that essence, that sexual essence, it ascends again and goes back up to heaven, which is your thing. It's also
Pine cone-shaped gland, nestled deep within the brain, has sparked intrigue and fascination for centuries. In the realm of biological function, the pineal gland is responsible for the production of melatonin, a hormone that regulates our sleep-wake cycle. But there's so much more to it than that. In the realm of spirituality, the pineal gland is seen as the seat of consciousness, a portal to the divine, if you will. It's like a bridge between the physical and the spiritual, the known and the unknown, the tangible and the intangible. This concept is not new. It has been echoed across various cultures and spiritual traditions throughout history. Take, for instance, the ancient Egyptians. They depicted the pineal gland in their art and architecture as a symbol of enlightenment and spiritual awakening. The Hindus, on the other hand, refer to it as the third eye, or ajna chakra, a gateway to inner realms and spaces of higher consciousness. Now, let's talk about pine cones. Yes, you heard that right, pine cones. This seemingly ordinary object found in nature bears a striking resemblance to the pineal gland, and has been used as a symbol for it across cultures. From the staff of the Greek god Dionysus to the Pope's pine cone in Vatican City, you'll find this symbolism sprinkled across history. But why a pine cone, you might ask? Well, just as a pine cone's spirals represent the unfolding of consciousness, so too does the pineal gland in our brain. It's a symbol of our inherent potential to reach higher states of consciousness and connect with the divine within us. Now that we have a basic understanding of this intriguing gland, let's delve deeper into its mystical and spiritual aspects. Did you know that the pineal gland and the cerebrospinal fluid have deep-rooted connections in biblical references? In the scriptures, Jacob's ladder is a significant symbol that has often been linked with our body's physiology. Jacob dreams of a ladder reaching to the heavens with angels ascending and descending on it. This ladder can be seen as a metaphor for the 33 vertebrae of the human spine, a pathway for the cerebrospinal fluid, often symbolized as the angel, to ascend and descend. Venturing deeper into biblical references, we find the phrase, the land of milk and honey, a term used to describe the promised land in the Old Testament. This metaphorical land is not just a place flowing with literal milk and honey, but it also refers to the pineal and pituitary glands within our own bodies. The pineal gland, often associated with the spiritual third eye, secretes a honey-like substance, while the pituitary gland produces a milk-like secretion. Together they create a land of milk and honey within us, a place where spirituality and physiology meet. The pineal gland, known as the seat of consciousness, is often seen as the gateway to higher levels of awareness and perception. When awakened, it's believed to provide a connection to our spiritual nature, like a bridge between the physical and the spiritual worlds. On the other hand, the pituitary gland, the master gland of the body, regulates all other glands and controls growth and development. Its milk-like secretion nourishes our physical bodies, much like the milk from a mother nourishes her newborn. So, when we talk about the land of milk and honey, we're not only referring to a place of physical abundance as described in the scriptures, but also a state of spiritual enlightenment and physiological harmony within our own bodies. These biblical references provide fascinating insights into the spiritual significance of our physiology. Our body's cerebrospinal fluid has a spiritual journey of its own, would you believe it? This fluid, often referred to as the Christ oil, has an intriguing journey that resonates with spiritual significance. Let's journey through this mystical path and learn how science and spirituality intertwine. The cerebrospinal fluid, or CSF, originates from the choroid plexus in the brain. It's a clear, colorless body fluid that flows within the ventricular system and around the brain and spinal cord. But it's more than just a physical entity, it's a spiritual conduit. Let's delve a bit into the Bible. At around the age of 12, there's a unique secretion in our bodies. This is thought to symbolize the age when Jesus started his spiritual mission. It's a time when the pineal gland, located in the brain, starts to secrete a special oil. This oil travels down the spinal cord towards the sacred plexus, the body's own Bethlehem. The spine, with its 33 vertebrae, is perceived as the spiritual ladder of ascension. It's no coincidence that Christ's life ended at the age of 33. The journey of the Christ oil down the 33 vertebrae is seen as a metaphor for Christ's life and his ultimate sacrifice. As this special oil descends, it passes through the 7 energy centers or chakras, each representing a stage in our spiritual growth. When it reaches the bottom, it begins its upward journey, ascending back towards the brain. If we live a balanced and virtuous life, the oil rises, symbolizing our own spiritual ascension. Upon its return, this Christ oil revitalizes the body, bringing enlightenment and a heightened state of consciousness. It's the body's own resurrection story, a physical process symbolizing spiritual enlightenment. This journey of the cerebrospinal fluid is a fascinating blend of science and spirituality. It shows us that our bodies are not just physical entities but vessels of cosmic energy and spiritual awakening. We're all on a journey, not just in the physical world but also on a spiritual plane. And within us flows the Christ oil, a testament to this divine journey. The pineal gland is also associated with a powerful psychedelic substance. Have you heard of DMT? Let's dive into this fascinating topic. DMT, or dimethyltryptamine, is a naturally occurring chemical that can induce vivid psychedelic experiences. It's often referred to as the spirit molecule due to the profound spiritual journeys many people claim to experience under its influence. Now, here's where it gets intriguing. Some researchers propose that the pineal gland is responsible for producing this psychedelic substance within the human body. Imagine the pineal gland, this tiny pinecone-shaped organ, quietly nestled deep within the brain, acting as a gateway to other dimensions of consciousness. It's a concept that blends the boundaries between science and spirituality, isn't it? While the scientific jury is still out on whether our pineal gland produces DMT, the association itself is quite compelling. Especially when you consider that many of the spiritual experiences associated with a DMT trip, such as feelings of timelessness, out-of-body experiences, and encounters with mystical entities, are strikingly similar to the spiritual narratives from countless cultures around the world. Now let's talk about the effects of DMT. When consumed, DMT catapults the user into an alternate reality, filled with vibrant, morphing geometries and interactions with seemingly sentient beings. And this occurs within seconds of consumption, earning it the name the businessman's trip. These experiences, though intensely personal and subjective, often lead to profound shifts in perspective and understanding about the nature of self and reality. The potential role of DMT in spiritual experiences and consciousness is a vast, uncharted territory. It's a tantalizing thought, isn't it? That our bodies could harbor the potential for such profound, transcendent experiences. And so, the pineal gland continues to intrigue us, sitting at the intersection of science and spirituality. Its potential role in producing DMT, if proven, could revolutionize our understanding of consciousness and the human capacity for spiritual experiences. The pineal gland's association with DMT adds another layer to its spiritual significance. It's not just an organ, it's potentially a gateway to an entirely new understanding of what it means to be human and to be conscious. So, what does all this mean for our understanding of the divine within us? Let's take a moment to weave together the threads of understanding we've been exploring. We've journeyed through the intricacies of the pineal gland, the so-called seat of consciousness, a tiny structure within our brain that holds profound spiritual significance. It's not just a curiosity of our physiology but a gateway, a connection point to the divine. We've learned about the cerebrospinal fluid, the Christ oil, a substance of such importance that it is likened to the milk and honey of biblical lore. It's not just a product of our physical bodies but a tangible manifestation of our spiritual essence. Its journey up the spine, through the 33 vertebrae, mirrors the ascension of spiritual energy in our bodies, an echo of Christ's age at his crucifixion. We've delved into the mystery of DMT, a compound produced within the pineal gland, known as the spirit molecule for its ability to induce profound psychedelic experiences. It's not just a chemical, but a key, unlocking the doors of perception and allowing us a glimpse into realms beyond our ordinary reality. And we've seen how these elements are represented in various cultures, from the pine cone symbols of antiquity to the biblical tale of Jacob's ladder. These are not just stories and symbols, but echoes of a deeper truth, a testament to the divine significance of our own physiology. The pineal gland, the cerebrospinal fluid, the 33 vertebrae, the production of DMT, they're all part of a grand design, a divine blueprint inscribed within our very bodies. They remind us that we're not just physical beings, but spiritual entities, connected to a greater cosmic reality. Remember, the journey to understanding our divine nature is a continuous one, filled with intriguing discoveries and profound realizations.